I'm Jacob from the Sustainably Yours Homestead, and I'm about to make my first attempt at seasoning cast iron. Let's see how it goes. These are the two cast iron skillets that I started restoring in an earlier video. They were super rusty. We got all the rust off of them, and I was going to wait until I got all of the rust off the rest of the stack that I have over there before I started seasoning them, but we're about to go on a camping trip, and we thought it might be fun to cook over the campfire with some cast iron. So I'm going to bump the schedule up on these two, and I guess we'll give it a little practice run before I try working on these larger pieces. To season these, I'm going to be using flax oil. It's organic, cold-pressed flax oil. I'm using this because it is high in alpha-linoleic acid, and apparently that's the compound that when you heat it up past its smoke point, they begin to kind of join together, interlock together. It's called polymerization. They form these big long chains of molecules, and then that will bond tightly to the metal in the pan, and that is what forms that nice non-stick coating that you see on cast iron skillets. So it makes sense that the higher the ALA content of the oil, the better polymerization, the better coating you'll get on your cast iron. So we're going to oil these things down, and then we're going to bring them over. I'm working outside on the grill, so we're going to bring them over to the grill. We're going to place them face down, probably on this upper rack. And to fire this thing, we've got, these are just regular charcoal briquettes. They're going to provide some heat, but then I've got some Royal Oak 100% all natural hardwood lump charcoal. This stuff gets hot. It burns hot and it burns fast. So I'll add some of this as needed to the charcoal briquettes to keep the temperature somewhere between 400 and 500 degrees. Once again, this is the first time I've ever tried seasoning cast iron, so I'm going to try not to talk like I know what I'm doing. And I'm going to try not to make this sound like an instructional video. Anything that I do say, it's secondhand knowledge. I've done a lot of research, I've picked up things online. That's what we're going to be trying to do. So yeah, don't take this as instructional. Wait till the end of the video, see how things turn out, and adjust your plans from there. What I am going to do, we're going to start with this smaller one. It is labeled 6.5-inch skillet. I'm not sure what that mark is right there. Looks like maybe an L. There's an L there also, so that's probably what the marking is. Number 3 on the flip side. It doesn't say made in the USA anywhere on it, so I don't know, maybe this is an older skillet. Let's see what we can do with it. According to my research, when you're putting the oil on the skillet, for your seasoning, you want to put a very thin, even coating of oil. If you use a thick layer of oil, the pan will end up sticky, and it's just not a very good coating. So we're going to put a very thin layer, and we'll do this multiple times. We'll go through several cycles of a thin layer of oil and heat it for about an hour. Thin layer of oil, heat it for about an hour. So here we go. I did, before I got started, I scrubbed these out really good with soap and water. And then I did put a little thin layer of oil on them to keep them from flash rusting. You want to cover the entire pan, from what I've researched. And according to what I've read and watched on YouTube, for your first layer, you almost don't even want to be able to feel the oil on there. There's that one. Now let's do the larger one. This one is labeled USA. It says Lodge 6SK. I don't know what those markings mean. If you know what those mean, let me know in the comments if you're knowledgeable about cast iron. That'd be helpful. Okay, so we'll oil it down pretty good at first, and then I'll wipe off the excess. Again, I want to make sure I get down in the inside of the little eye of the handle there. And here we have lots of little crevices and nooks and crannies. I want to make sure I get in there. But then again, I want to make sure when I clean off all the excess oil that I pull all the excess out of those little nooks and crannies. Okay, I think that's going to be good on that one for our first heat. I've got my briquettes burning a little bit. I'm going to throw on some of this royal oak. Now the briquettes, again, these are just going to be for like a long-term heat source. That way I can continuously add the royal oak. This stuff burns really hot, but it burns out really quickly. So that's the plan. So let's toss on a little of this. Hopefully we don't put out all of our flame. Well, it took a minute to get everything burning the way I needed it to, but I think we're good. You can hear the tinging sound of all of the lumped charcoal as it burns. So I think we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and close down the lid. We'll keep an eye on this thing until it hits about 400 degrees. And then we'll start our timer for 1 hour. It has been 1 hour at 400 plus, 500 plus. I think we've probably got up close to 650 there for a second. Told you that stuff gets hot. Okay, I'm going to open this up. Oh, those look... That actually kind of worked. Sweet, okay. I'm going to let those cool for just a second, as much as I can with the grill open. And then I'll take them out and we'll take a look at them. They've been cooling. This one is cool enough that I can handle it. This one is still a little hot, so let's take a look at what we have. There are definitely some areas where I got pretty decent coverage on the bottom, and not as much. That's okay. We're gonna do multiple steps. Here's what it looks like on the inside, and there's some pitting going on in there. It's probably gonna take a pretty thick coat of seasoning to kind of level up the pitting there. The other one looks better, I think. Here's the bottom side of it. Looks pretty even. Well, there's maybe a little spot here that I didn't quite get as good. Maybe right in here. Still kind of hot. Let me see if I can get it turned over without scorching my hand. Yeah, handle's okay. Inside, well, I think what happened was I missed some of this. Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wipe those things down and give them a second coat, and we'll throw them back on the grill for round 2. Well, it got dark on me yesterday, so I quit filming. It's the next morning, so let me show you where we're at. These are my 2 skillets after we've been through, I guess, 3 cycles. The Lodge is looking good, I think. Again, no experience, but it seems to be coating very evenly. It's got that nice dark color to it. There were a couple of spots like here, and then I believe it was on this side right here, where the first couple of heats the seasoning was uneven, but that last one has it looking a whole lot better. I might call this one done, but I'm going to go ahead and put this one through at least 1 more heat. The other smaller skillet, well, we're getting there. We're getting there. The bottom looks okay. Yeah, we still have a couple of spots where it doesn't exactly have the color I'm looking for. And on the inside, I was a little bit more aggressive when I was cleaning the rust off of this one. And some of this inside surface is really smooth. the metal is really smooth. I think it's harder to get that smooth metal to take a layer of seasoning. So this one's taking a little bit more. We're gonna go ahead and grease both of these up, fire up the grill again, and put them through at least one more heat cycle. It's been a little over an hour now. Our temperature's beginning to drop. So this will be the end of the 4th heat. Well, they've cooled off enough where I can handle them. This one is pretty much cool to the touch. This one is still pretty warm, but I can handle it. So I'm thinking this is probably gonna make for the better skillet. Of course, this one cools off faster because it's there's less metal there. We're finally beginning to get some better color on this pan, or this skillet, especially there on the inside. It was kind of splotchy. It's still a little splotchy. I'm going to go ahead and put this one through one more heat. The Lodge skillet looks pretty good, I think. I've got some spots around the rim there. Those are the places where it was touching the grill grate, I'll bet you. I'm going to try and clean that up, and this time when I put the small one in, I'm just going to season around the edge of this one and see if that fixes it. Alright, last time, I hope. The small one, I think I'm going to give it an all-over final coat. Special emphasis on the inside here. Using paper towel. The paper towel kind of tears off and sticks to the pan a little bit. Probably should have used a cloth, but okay, I think that's what we're going to do with this one. And for the larger Lodge, I'm just going to kind of go around this top rim and try to fix some of these spots where I'm pretty sure that's where the skillet was sitting on the grill grate. So I'm going to coat this with a layer of oil, and then this time I'll set it up this way, right side up on the grill. I think the reason you want to set it upside down to begin with is you don't really want the oil to pull up in the bottom of the skillet and polymerize in a big glob. So this way it can run and drip out. But if I'm just kind of layering this edge, I think we'll be okay. Alrighty, the temperature got up well above 500, and it has cycled its way back down to 330, 340, something like that. So we're going to pull these out. Ooh, it's hot in there. Those spots look a little better, but they're still noticeable. I figure over time those will probably fill themselves in. Here's the smaller skillet. This one still has a little bit of splotchiness on the inside. I think that'll cover over with time and use though. Bottom side. And the Lodge skillet. It looks good on the inside. There are a couple of those spots around the rim. I'm not happy with that. But it's going to have to do for now. Maybe I'll come back later on and try and fix them. Bottom side. All in all, since this is the first time I've ever tried seasoning a skillet, and knowing what those things looked like before I started the rescue process, I'm pretty happy with what I've got there. I'm not sure how non-stick they're going to be just yet. We'll give them a try. We're going to go camping over the weekend. We're going to go for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days, and we'll try them out over the campfire, and I'll let you know how it turns out. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If so, give us that thumbs up and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Give me some tips on what I could do better next time I go to season some skillets. And if you would be interested in following along as we continue to try and turn our home into a homestead, then be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when to be back for more daily, sustainable living.